How are positive reinforcement trainers driving pet parents towards trainers who use aversive and suppressive methods? In this recent video series, I've been talking about how positive reinforcement does not fix behavior concerns. And what I mean by that is positive reinforcement is operant conditioning. You add something to a situation to increase the likelihood of the preceding behavior occurring again. That is what positive reinforcement means. But positive reinforcement is being used as an umbrella term to refer to any sort of non-aversive, non-suppressive approaches. And I don't think until posting this series I realized quite what a huge issue that was, because there are so many people in my comment section who, even after presumably listening to the videos, are not understanding that positive reinforcement specifically refers to positive means adding something, and reinforcement means to increase the likelihood of the behavior. It's part of operant conditioning. You have positive and negative reinforcement and positive and negative punishment. Positive and negative have nothing to do with force-free. They have to do with adding or subtracting something to increase or decrease the behavior. And that is a lot less well understood than I expected it to be. And that's a problem, because pet parents are finding trainers who are using positive reinforcement, operant conditioning, to treat behavior concerns. At very best, it's inefficient. At worst, it's completely ineffective. And then they are drawing the conclusion positive reinforcement doesn't work for behavior concerns. The only other option must be positive punishment. And then they're using positive punishment, and because that suppresses the behavior, that much more seems like it works. Positive reinforcement, if done well, is going to work for what it is. It's going to create an increased likelihood of that behavior occurring, but that might not be the solution. In behavior therapy, that's not the solution. Increasing the likelihood of an alternative behavior is not the route. And we have a lot of videos talking about what routes to take, so explore some of those if you're thinking, well, you're only telling us what not to do. But I think if this is news to you, if you did not know that positive reinforcement is a specific term belonging to operant conditioning, if you don't know what that means, if you don't understand why when I start talking about classical conditioning, I'm not talking about positive reinforcement, even though classical conditioning is something that would be used by a positive reinforcement trainer, then with full sincerity, I would suggest learning more about that. And I'm happy to provide some resources. There are a lot out there. But that fundamental understanding is really important for any pet professional. And I think it is causing a lot of confusion for pet parents, and unintentionally creating more and more of a drive towards aversive and suppressive training, where people originally sought out positive reinforcement support. So I think we need to get on the same page about what positive reinforcement means and when and where it should be applied. Because the options are not positive reinforcement and positive punishment unless you're only looking through an operant lens, and that's the only thing you have, and that's not anywhere near enough to approach behavior support.